Hello, thank you for watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fit some axle weights and we're going to try the truck. This is the Pig. Some of you may have seen the Pig before. Called the Pig because we've had nothing but problems with it. Going to fit some Boom Racing axle weights and I'm going to try it on the climb and see if we get an improvement. It'll be interesting. I've been trying to put these weights on for about 2 years because I keep buying the wrong parts. Later on in the video I've got the parts list. I will put it in the links below when I get to it. Hopefully that'll help someone. The main reason for shooting this video is to help someone. I kind of bought too many parts I didn't need. These are high clearance links. You can see, probably didn't need those. Bought 2 sets. Bought all sorts of screws and bolts that I didn't need. Yeah, it was a bit confusing putting these on. But it's done now. I'll put the parts list in and we'll see if it makes a difference. See you in a moment. So today I'm going to try and replace these. I've decided that this needs a little bit more weight on the front. This is the Pig, so it's been out in a few other videos. There's been a few other little changes. Changed the bumper for something that's got more high clearance. It doesn't look as cool, but it really works well. So these are kind of like your competition style bumpers. These came off Amazon pretty cheap. I think that was about £5 and I think that was about £3.50 and then a bit of postage on top, something like that. And then at the back end I've taken the bar off, so just not bothered at the back end. Got some D-rings just to give it some interest. No other reason. So it terminates at the back kind of open. I did try it with the bar. It came with a set of 2. The other bar was quite wide. It just didn't look right. It looked pretty poor. So these are the Boom Racing AR44 axles, and they are beautiful axles. They've been on there now for 2 years and they've been used solidly. They come with a scratch guard. You can see there it's pretty scratched up. They've taken a beating. They haven't required any servicing at all in that time. Maybe just a couple of bolts being tightened up and the odd cleaning. They've got a really high steering angle, which I really like. So they turn really, really well. They're beautiful axles. The thing I want to do is put some weight down low. I've tried adding a weight onto this side of the steering servo, but it's just not quite enough weight for climbing. So I want to get some weight down low. I don't really want rotational mass, because rotational mass is putting strain on the drive shaft and the knuckles. So I've looked at getting the Boom Racing weight system for these knuckles. I have had a bit of a problem, if I'm honest. I bought what I thought I needed 2 years ago. And basically, the bit I thought I needed was this piece here. I don't know if you can just see it. It's not great on the camera. And they call that a weight block. It kind of sits there. I thought that fitted onto the existing knuckle, but it doesn't. You have to change the knuckles. So you need these knuckles to replace them, and then you need a knuckle arm, and then you need the extra weights on the front, as much or as little as you want. The system is designed to take these off and on, so you can change and vary the weights. You can remove this, you can remove as much weight as you want or add weight. These pieces in the center of these steering knuckles are aluminium, cast aluminium. Not a huge fan of that, but we'll see how they go. Obviously the rest of it's brass, so it's quite heavy. We'll weigh these in a second. So this is assembled and ready to go. I've done 2. There's the other one. Yeah, I've used a little bit of what do they call it? The Loctite, but the purple Loctite. Don't use the blue standard driving type big car Loctite, 1-to-1 scale Loctite, because you'll never get it undone. I have used a little bit of Loctite just to keep them in there. I'm still a bit worried about clearance and stuff. I don't know how that works in the wheel, but we'll try it. As for weight, we'll have a look. So, set of scales. Get them in a position where you can see the thing. Try and make sure there's nothing touching them. And turn them on. So we're measuring this in grams. Sorry, America, but I'm sure you'll cope. And so there we go. One of those weights is 95 grams, almost 100 grams. So the pair combined, 189 grams. So that's quite a considerable amount of low down weight. Whether it'll have a huge effect or not, I'm not sure. The rig does need a little bit more weight, just because of the roll cage I built, I think. So the G-Speed chassis is really low LCG, low center of gravity, but I've built this roll cage. Can't quite see it, can you? Roll cage, I'll show you a proper shot when we go out driving it. And that puts a bit more weight on the top, so we'll just see. It's quite a heavy rig already, I guess. Not quite sure how heavy it is, to be honest. We could probably do that, couldn't we? So let's just have a quick look. So we're zeroed. We need something to stand it on. Never anything when you want it, is there? So trying that again. We are at 2.88 kilograms. 2.88 kilograms. So obviously we're going to put another 100 grams on that, over 100 grams, almost 200 grams onto that. So we'll be over the 3 kilogram mark. So maybe not that heavy in the scheme of things. I know some of the Traxxas trucks and things like that are a lot heavier. And obviously with a hard body, people put a lot of weight on to counteract the hard body weight. So we'll see. Just before I do that, these were a bit of a nightmare to assemble. You need some very specific parts, and all I can say is read the instructions very carefully. I didn't, and I ended up ordering the wrong parts on several occasions and then having to go back and order the right parts. I'm going to put the parts list that I'm using on screen, but basically you need the knuckles, which are these pieces here. So the knuckles, the right and left knuckles are BRLC002/B. So that's BRLC002/B. Then as for arms, there's a bit of a choice. You can have a high clearance arm or these ones. I've gone with these ones just because they looked stronger, but I actually ordered the high clearance arms as well. You need a right and left, obviously. So they are BRLC7002C and BRLC7002A for the high clearance arms. The ones I'm using are not the high clearance arms, and they are BRLC2002, and they come in a pair. The high clearance ones don't come in a pair, they come as individuals, so you need to get the right and the left. Then you need a bunch of 2mm screws, counter sunk heads, 2mm screws. And the reason for that is if you want to run a different number of layers there, you'll need different lengths. So for one layer, they're an M2 screw at 5mm. For 2 layers, they're an M2 screw at 8mm length. And then at the 3 layers that are on there, they're an M2 by 10mm length. You also need some of those M2 screws to go into here. And they don't really tell you that. I think they come with the weights, but I kind of unpacked them and lost bits and things and had to go back and reorder the screws. These screws are brass, and they're brass into brass, so just be aware of that. Not the strongest metal, so you need to be really careful when you're winding them in, that you're not cross-threading them, and you're really gentle with them. But nicely engineered. The only problem I had with fitting them is where they fit onto the bottom of the knuckle. So where they fit here, to show you, here, there wasn't enough clearance here to get them to sit right. So I had to file the inside of that and the inside of that. I didn't file the knuckle because that's cast aluminium and I didn't want to weaken it, so I actually filed the weight. You can afford to lose a bit of weight, right? So I filed the inside of that, filed the inside of that quite gently, so it just dropped in there and fit really nicely. I guess what you're looking for is that this inner ring sits quite nicely and level. Bit of a pig to get in, to be honest. And then once it's in, it's pretty solid. Doesn't really move, so that's good. The other thing to be conscious of is this bolt that drops through here. It's really easy to put it in the wrong way around, and if you put it in the wrong way around, it doesn't grip on anything. So you have to put it in the right way around. So as you look at the knuckle, that's the top. That's the top, sorry, of the knuckle, and the bolt is going in from the bottom. I think. Who knows? Maybe that's the top. I don't know. When we get them on, we'll see. I might have assembled them upside down. I can't quite work it out, but I'm pretty sure that's the top. So the knuckle's like that. So I'm going to get to putting these on. Obviously there's some brass top hat bushes to go into these, so it'll take me a little while. Got to disassemble the other knuckles. I'm not going to film it just because I can't get the angle on the camera, and I'll be back with you in a minute. So fitting those was not easy, to be honest. Had a bit of a problem. There was a burr on the inside that prevented the bearing going in. Probably damaged the bearing a little bit. I need to replace it, but I'll wait till I get some new ones. In terms of weight now, we're at 3.056 kilograms. So we put on a bit of weight and we will give it a try. So we're at 61 degrees. Previously our best was about 58. So this is with the axle weights. Could probably get a bit better if we tuned the suspension, because obviously adding the weights, I fell off the plank, but adding the weights means that the suspension tuning's kind of gone now, so it could actually do with maybe stronger springs in the front, because the body's unloading a little bit. Not horrific, it's not bad. That's 61 degrees. It's fairly effortless, to be honest, at 61 degrees. Do a nice slow claw on those endurers. Very impressive. So we get another 2 degrees, all that weight. Probably improve the handling generally. Be interesting to see out on the rocks we normally take it on. It's just unloading a little bit on the body, not a lot. That droop suspension holding everything down. Can even position it. It's quite impressive. It's pretty vertical, that. I'll show you from a different angle. It's pretty vertical. Not bad. So I'm quite pleased with that. Quite pleased with the pig.